Have you ever laid in bed alone, with witches in your closet, and hands reaching out to grab you from underneath your bed, and thought to yourself, is this the scariest thing that's ever happened? It probably wasn't, but I'll tell you what is.
Ghost Estate. A young woman had inherited a large estate that had been in her family for many years. The large home was on a vast piece of land that stretched for many miles of wooded forest and open field. Although the home was stunning when it was first built, it had become a ruin over time, as the family relocated closer to the city and left the house alone. No one had lived in the home for decades now, and the property and home was being passed along to the young woman and her new husband. The home itself was worthless. However, the young woman was happily surprised to find the large property the home was on was extremely valuable. There was one problem. The home was haunted. Each time a demolition crew came near the home, they always left a few hours after arriving. Most crews refused to even enter the home. Every construction crew told the woman and her husband the same story. They said they would not return until the ghosts in the home had been removed. Frustrated, the woman and her husband searched desperately to find a ghost hunter, exorcist, or priest who could dispel the ghosts from the home. However, after traveling many miles to help, once they reached the home, most left without ever laying a foot inside. They claimed the evil spirits inside were too strong, and the feelings of terror scared everyone away. The woman and her husband thought all was lost, and the valuable land was now worthless because they could not demolish the home. In the night, the husband and wife tried several times to burn the home to the ground, with no success. Each time they tried, no matter how much gasoline they put on the home, it was not enough to catch fire. However, they did hear screams that terrified them and scared them off the property, for good, never to try again. Hopeless, they put out a reward in every newspaper in every town nearby. A large sum of money was offered to anyone who could rid their property of the evil spirits. Again, they were met with no luck. Everyone who showed up at the home was either too afraid to enter or left at the first sight of the home. All hope was lost until the day two brothers answered their ad. The brothers claimed to be famous throughout the United States for chasing unwanted ghosts and spirits out of people's homes. They claimed to be fearless and no paranormal activity could defeat them. They accepted the challenge and asked to be given access to the home immediately. However, the brothers warned that their techniques were very aggressive. Their strategy was to taunt the ghosts, provoke them, and drive them out by force. They asked the young couple to sign a contract stating they had the right to use force, even if it meant damage to their property. The couple laughed and signed the contract, and mentioned to the brothers in secret that they had tried to burn the home down, and at this point, the more damage they could do, the better. The brothers accepted the challenge and started their work immediately. They traveled the long drive to the home deep in the woods. When their travels started, it was a bright, hot day with blue skies. As they got deeper into the woods to approach the home, it got darker. The skies grew black and the sun disappeared. By the time they reached the long, winding driveway to the home, it was black outside, even though it was an early afternoon on a summer day. They opened the large black iron gates and proceeded down the long, twisted drive. As the home came into view, they stopped, and horrified wondered out loud to each other if they had made a mistake. However, if they turned back now, their reputation would be ruined, and the reward money would be lost. So they proceeded down the twisted road to the home. Once outside, they could see the gigantic home more clearly. They looked at each other horrified, without speaking. They gathered their supplies and walked up to the porch of the home. Once outside the front door, they could hear what sounded like screaming and crying from inside. The house had more evil spirits and energy than any home they had ever come across in their years of ghost hunting. They reminded each other of the great reward, and one brother told the other brother, "Think of all the fame we will have once this home is defeated." At that, the door of the home creaked open, without either one of them touching the handle. "I'm not afraid," one brother screamed as he walked into the home. "Out with you, demon! You are not welcome here. This home is no longer yours." The other brother started in. "You are a coward. Come out and show yourself." Then, silence. Both brothers, a bit shaken, were now confident and strong with their words, though on the inside they were shaking badly. waiting for something or someone to jump out and grab them. Then one brother got an idea and smiled an evil smile. "The belongings! They are attached to this home, and the belongings." The other brother, confused, asked his brother what he meant. "I will show you." "Evil spirits, you are not welcome here. Take your worthless belongings before I destroy them. All of them." At that moment he lifted a chair and smashed a large grandfather clock. The other brother, seeing his brother's idea, took a chair and destroyed a china cabinet. They laughed wildly and taunted the spirits in the home, laughed and called the ghosts cowards and worthless as they destroyed the belongings of a person long since passed. Over the noise of the shattering glass and breaking wood, they did not hear screams and the door of the room at the end of the hall, until it grew louder. Then they heard it. Evil, horrible screams coming from behind the door that was shaking violently on its hinges. They walked to the end of the hall to see the door that was making the noise. "Someone is here with us." They both sat silent, watching the door violently shake in the frame. Then it stopped and opened. The first brother entered the room screaming, "Where are you, you worthless coward? I'm here to destroy you." He then spit on the bed inside the room. The other brother, hesitant, waited and then tried to enter. However, before he could enter, the door slammed shut. The second brother called out to the first brother, who was trapped inside. "What happened?" he screamed.
"I don't know."
Now the brother trapped inside was no longer confident. He was terrified.
"Help me, brother."
He screamed.
"Wait,
He said.
I'm not in here alone. Something is in the closet."
The brother outside frantically tried to open the door, with no success, pulling and pushing with all his strength.
"The closet is opening."
His brother screamed.
"No! Get me out of here! It's coming for me!"
"What is it?" the other brother screamed.
"It's coming for me! No!"
Then, silence. Outside the room, the second brother tried frantically to open the door. He ran to the end of the hall and grabbed a large steel poker from the fireplace to smash the door in. When he returned, the door was open. He ran in, ready to fight the thing that had his brother. But the room was empty. The brother was gone, and the closet door was closed. The brother, who was now alone, walked up slowly to the closet door, holding the iron poker above his head, ready to destroy the beast that was hiding behind the door. He held his breath and threw open the door, ready to attack. Nothing. The closet was empty. The only thing inside was dusty, empty shelves and cobwebs. Terrified, he closed the door and went to leave. At that moment, the door to the bedroom slammed shut. Terrified and scared, he begged the ghost in the room to let him free. He apologized and began to cry. The more he screamed for help and cried to be let free, the more horror and panic he felt. And then it happened. The walls started to bleed. The walls bled and the blood filled the room. The man, astonished, didn't know what to do, until the blood filled the room to his knees. Horrified and panicked, he cried and pounded the door harder and harder. But the harder he hit the door, the faster the blood filled the room, until it was almost to the ceiling, and the man was having trouble getting air as he was fighting to stay afloat. Then, one final scream. But it was not the man's scream, it was the home. Then the door to the room opened. No blood inside. No brothers. The home was now empty. To this day, sitting alone in the woods, that home and property remain unsold.
Thank you for listening, and remember, the next scariest thing to ever happen may just happen to you.
Created by Eric Supervillain Millen. Sound effects from freesound.org. Full list of sound effects at thescariestthing.com. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Incompetech.com.